The Titanic tour. I'm sure you lots heard about the crew that went to the Titanic tour and perished from a implosion that occurred during the tour, and they didn't even made it to the Titanic. They just died before. Well, we don't know if they died for sure. According to reports, there's no like exact evidence. But then, I mean, there's no exact proof, but there are evidence that indicate that they died. But before I talk, subscribe to my channel. I upload 2 to 3 times a week. So yeah, if you subscribe, you'll probably see 2 to 3 of my videos on your feed. Who knows? I don't know. So yeah, the people died. And so what happened is there's this tour to the Titanic that's been jerry-rigged by some subterranean idiot that decided, oh, you know what, I'm gonna build my own submarine and it's gonna go underwater and I'm gonna make a lot of money from this. And yeah, the guy is ambitious, he's old, he's ambitious, which is really rare these days where you find an old ambitious guy. And he's probably just wanted that success. Like, he probably just want to make big money before he really gets old and retire. He probably wants to be like a super millionaire. But yeah, it's just unfortunate that he will not be doing that when he retires. And yeah, this piece of shit submarine that he built is just MacGyvered by a bunch of crap that you find in some store. Like, I think the window was rated for 1,300 feet or something, or 1,300 meter, and that's nowhere remotely close to doing 2.4 miles, which is how deep the Titanic is under the ocean. The thing is, there's not many submarines that can go that deep. I don't think there's any submarines that can go deep as 2.4 miles. That's just quite the stretch. That's like, I think that's even like longer than the Eiffel Tower. But you know, some guys, they just think they can do something and they just do it, and yeah, and they die for it. And the way to control the submarine is through a PlayStation controller. Like, the genius idea behind, I don't know, I feel like you have a better chance with maybe like a drone controller, or maybe something with a few more buttons than a PlayStation controller. And this tour, it's not that awesome because even though it can only fit 5 people, it cannot really go inside the Titanic. I feel like that would be the major charm for it, is that you can go inside and explore. But yeah, I don't think you could do that because this thing is so poorly jerry-rigged together that it won't be able to even fit through the door, like the main doors into the Titanic. And yeah, you just won't get that as much as you would expect out of it, considering that these people, they paid 250 grand for this trip. And the thing is, it's just like, this thing is not rated for diving. Like, it's not approved for deep diving. I doubt it's even approved for simple underwater operation, like 100 feet, let's just say. Yeah, I highly doubt it's even like 50% pass for anything underwater. But I don't know, I guess like this guy managed to get away with it. He's probably living in a different country and he could just do whatever the fuck he wants to do, because, or like, he's in international water and he could just, you know, you could break almost any law. I think you could commit murder in international waters for some reason. And so right out when those boys, they got into the water around 1,600 feet or like 1,300 feet, like deep in, which is not even a mile, it's like a quarter of a mile, the thing imploded. It simply imploded. So what's the difference between a implosion and a explosion? A explosion, things from the inside go out. So it's pretty easy to imagine how that looks like a grenade, like how a grenade just goes everywhere. But then a implosion, everything around you like goes inside. Everything goes inside, inwards, and then it flies everywhere else, like opposing force. Just imagine you're in your room, right? Your desk to your left is all of a sudden 100 foot to your right. Your bed on your right side is 100 foot to your left. Imagine all that happening in a millisecond. And simply said, like it's very low chance of them making it out alive because the submarine is in pieces. And people are thinking, oh, where's the body? Are you going to recover the body? Well, imagine being in the middle of an implosion. Where's the body going to be at? It's probably everywhere. Like there's probably no chance of recovering it. And even though if the body is there, it's been 5 days since the incident happened. I'm sure the fish have ate it, and reporters are just being assholes asking for the bodies when it's pretty common sense what happened to the body, and it's pretty much just gone. It's over. Like fishes are not going to just ignore a free meal. And as to why did this happen, I guess we can start off with the main point. The CEO is not the brightest apple on the tree. Yeah, you could just pick up like a textbook and you could learn about building a submarine, but then you still need proper equipment to build a submarine. This guy, I don't know, for some reason, he just jerry-rigged it with like crap you can buy from IKEA. And for some reason, people are still enticed by it, and they still want to take a ride in his homemade submarine. And I guess we can, besides his engineering, we could talk about his philosophy, like how not bright this guy is. His philosophy is he wants to hire younger people because they are more inspirational. And the thing is, yes, that's true. Young people are more inspirational, generally speaking. They're less likely to question the things that may gone awry. He didn't want a 50-year-old guy. Like, I don't know, maybe he looked in the mirror and he thought, man, I'm a 50-year-old guy. I'm an idiot. Maybe all 50-year-old guys are idiot. You know what? Fuck it. I'm not going to hire a 50-year-old guy just because I saw myself and I thought, yeah, this ain't going to work out. Well, if a 50-year-old guy was hired to man the submarine, he's probably going to say hell no to it because, once you're old, you still have a little bit of life to live and you have some experience. Hell, I don't think you even need to be a professional to realize that the submarine is pretty dog shit. It's just poorly held together by zip ties and crap, and some of the parts were like duct taped together. I think that's a red flag already. I would expect a submarine to have everything just welded, not duct taped. But I don't know. I guess the ingenuity of this CEO is just something else. Maybe he's on a different spectrum beyond ours. But here's the thing. He's dumb, but who's dumber? The passengers, the people that actually paid $250,000 to ride on this thing. Now, I guess it's nothing to them because they are rich people. They like to explore. They are just awfully wealthy people that has risky habits or risky hobbies of going deep underwater. I think one of the guys was a deep sea explorer, and he has 3 world records about exploring the deep sea or something from Guinness. And then it doesn't take a pro to know something is bad. Like when you look for the thing, it's just bad. Like all the passengers that just decided to ride this thing, they're just not bright. Except for the son. There's the explorer, and then there's a businessman that wants to take a ride on the ship because, well, he's rich. He just, he could afford it. Why not? Anyone would want to see the Titanic. I want to see the Titanic in person. I didn't like the movie, but I still want to see the Titanic in person, but I will not ride in that thing for my goodness. But what sucks was not the businessman, but his son. His son was probably the brightest person in the entire submarine because he knows that this thing is just not a good idea. His son was scared stiff to ride this thing, but then he feel what's the word? He feel like it's his duty to ride it because he wants to support his scared father. His father was scared too, like the businessman. He was scared stiff as well, but then his son, being a good son, just decided, all right, Dad, I'll ride this with you to support you. And as a result, he died. He died to according to reports, and the evidence would conclude that they all died. And what sucks is like the kid didn't want to be a part of this, and yeah, he perished. Now nations from other places are just gathering together, like dropping off radars and so, and trying to recover the pieces of the submarine that imploded all over the place. Like there are parts scattered like 1,600 feet away from the Titanic, and it's that far away because it exploded very like high up above the Titanic. Like I think it exploded at 1,300 feet, so like it just drifted off into the current, and then it just landed like 1,600 feet away from the Titanic, which is, you know, actually is not that far, like considering the distance of like 1.75 miles of foliage. And yeah, well, now that it's pretty concluded that they're dead. There were just, you know, a bunch of conspiracy theories about these people faking their death. Like, oh yeah, maybe this guy, like the businessman, just wanted to start a new life, and he wants to start a new life of his son, and so just or whatever. But of course, on the internet, you have people that want people to think that they're smart, kind of like flat earthers, just creating their own theories so they could have that aha, I told you so moments, if it ever was true, because they've been dumb their whole lives and they just have this obsession with creating theories and not believing the current evidence with their common sense. But you know what, I guess people just feel the need to just try to tell people that they're smart when they're really not. And overall, the victim chose this path knowing full well of the risk, except for the kid that was guilt tripped into it. It just sucks to be him. And yeah, I think technology is just not good enough. I guess like those old guys, I feel like they could just wait like maybe a decade more, and maybe, I don't know, they can work out a little more kink of submarines and that could go deeper. Or they could be in that submarine that actually went down there successfully to look around. You know, they, instead of going to a cheap, like a dog shit one that cost 250 grand. I don't know. Overall, this sucks. And yeah, don't go like 2.4 miles into the deep sea.